just quieten down, baby.
Per capita export value.
Libraries. Minister, are you embarrassed by your behavior today?
There's a lot of bleeding hearts around.
Do you have the fortitude or the gonads to stand up and come across here and say that to me, you son of a bitch?
Just watch me.
He certainly went too far, Mr. Speaker, when I saw him stick his tongue out.
Contemptuous disregard.
More than a slab of bacon talking here.
The disappointment you also feel is my responsibility.
I lost my temper.
What is the nature of your thoughts?
The word was FART.
Can we do it together? Like at the same time in sync?
Okay. In the band NSYNC. Ready?
Three,
two, one.
That wasn't even in sync. We
No.
can't.
What are we saying?
What
What are we saying? Welcome to Canadian politics.
Welcome to Canadian politics is boring. Oh, yeah, what after that?
Okay.
I'm
ready.
and then we'll split, and you'll say I'm Reese, and I'll say I'm Jesse.
Yeah, like that.
And then
Okay.
we'll laugh for 5 minutes.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
One, two, three.
Three.
Welcome
to
Canadian politics.
No,
This is
man,
boring.
have you never done this before? Come on.
I'm Reese. This is just going to go in. This is fine. I'm not good at working with others. You know this.
I know. Yeah, I do know that. Yeah.
So let me do my thing. Hi, welcome. This is Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
Jesse,
I'm eating Oreos and drinking coffee.
nice. I've got a can of what flavor is that? That's the French version. Blackberry bubbly or
Buble?
Buble. Yes,
Blackberry buble.
And it's good. And I'm sat on a hard stool and it hurts my ass. So yeah, all good in Reese world.
Now I'm picturing your ass. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for that imagery. Always wanted.
No, me and Jesse had a conversation a while back about how we weren't necessarily going to do an episode about what's going on in Ukraine, which is awful and sad and terrible. And because this is and Jesse's instinct is right on this because we want to entertain and escape. Because it's not our job to be news, if you know
That's
what
right.
I mean.
Yeah, we like at the end of the day, when you're done with all of the horrifying news of the world and you want to escape with some comedy, your comedy shows shouldn't also be reporting the news. Like,
Yeah. But then also at the same time, I was like, do you know what though? I think we should talk about the Canadian-Ukrainian relationship and history, but let's look at a historical thing. So I've got a cool story related to Canada and its relationship to Ukraine. There's got nothing to do with everything that's going on, but will hopefully just be interesting and give extra context about why Canada has a strong relationship with Ukraine.
and because it's such a sensitive topic, we can't have any comedy in this at all. If I think of a joke, I will swallow it down deep into the darkness pit of my what used to be my soul.
What's about remains of your soul?
Yeah.
The parking space of where a soul once was.
So if you hear me giggling for no reason at all, it's because I thought of something funny, but I know I can't say anything.
And also, Jesse, I don't know if I told you this, one of our listeners is going to Ukraine to fight.
What?
They mess.
Eating an Oreo. Sorry.
I know.
What?
See, this is why we're not news. So one of our most dedicated listeners, who we met in person at our live show, is a veteran and also has strong family ties and is a Ukrainian Canadian. And they messaged me saying, I'm not going to give their name away because for safety reasons, but they're on their way there to fight right now. And
holy shit.
So I was like, I really want to do something because this is like an episode tailored.
You said
to that
we met
listener.
them. We met them at our live show. Were they in our live show? There were like 2 other people in our live show.
No.
People can figure that shit out.
They were in the crowd. They were in the audience. So,
okay, of 10 people.
We did talk to them before as well. So they were 10% of our audience. So this episode is dedicated to the safety and safe return of that listener.
Yeah. Well, yes, please. Safe returns.
Safe returns. So anyway.
All right, educate me in a non-funny, non-serious way about a topic that is not current at all.
Okay, so this episode is called The OG Canadian Ukrainians.
All right.
So I don't know if you know this.
Were they a rap band in the 90s?
No. This is basically like the
I'm sorry, I can't stop it.
It's the first Ukrainians to settle in Canada. This story is pretty cool.
All right.
Ukrainian Canadians are the 11th largest ethnic group in Canada, and the 3rd largest Ukrainian population behind the Ukraine and Russia lives in Canada.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. I did not know that.
There's slightly more than 110,000 people reported themselves as Ukrainian, speaking Ukrainian in Canada, and half of all those live in the prairies. So they kind of settled the prairies mainly.
Holy shit. Half. Are you saying that half of the prairie population is Ukrainian?
No, half of the people who speak Ukrainian are in the prairies.
Oh, that's a totally different statistic. Okay, sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was. Mine was much more impressive.
No, exactly. Yours was. It's shame is not real, but if it was real. So.
Welcome to Jesse's made up statistics.
Exactly. Cool. So, like, there's no, like, obviously they didn't keep records before like they colonized North America. They didn't keep records of who was coming and going. So they think that they might have been Ukrainian fur traders in Canada before these people, but these were the official first people with this paperwork to prove that they came and settled Canada.
Cool.
It was named. One of them was called. I butcher French. I don't know what. I've got no frame of reference as to what my pronunciation of Ukrainian is like. So Ivan Pelupu and Wazel Eleniak. Pelupu.
Pelupu and Wazel.
Yeah. Pylypiw. Well, how would you pronounce that?
I'd have to write that down.
Pelupu.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I'm gonna get a notepad. Okay, tell me again.
P-Y. L-Y. P-I-W.
P-I-W. Pelupu. I don't. Pelupu and Wazel.
Pelupu and Eleniak.
Wazel
Eleniak. I think it's Wazel Eleniak and Ivan.
We're going straight to fucking hell. This is horrible.
Go and speak. if you know how to pronounce these names, go and speak pipe and just leave them for us.
And tell them how horrible we are as human beings.
We'll drop it in the next episode and compare it to how badly we got it wrong. So
speakpipe.com/Canadian politics is boring, or just click the little link that Reese is going to leave in the show notes, isn't he?
Yes. so in the 19th century, Ukraine was split between two empires. So the Russian Empire had 80% of Ukraine, and the rest was in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I don't know do you know much about the Austro-Hungarian Empire? So
much.
You love it.
You know damn well I don't.
I know exactly.
No, don't know anything. Not that I don't love it.
So we talked about before. Remember we talked about the Habsburg chin?
That rings a bell.
That was the royal family that ran or was in charge of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And
have we done 200 episodes yet?
No, I think we're about like 16 episodes away, something like that. When we have 200 episodes, we should have a party.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Get a tattoo. Sorry. Anyway.
Totally.
so at the time,
I don't think so.
and also it'd been pretty rough. So like in the 1800s, serfdom was still a thing in a lot of until the 1848.
Describe again to our listeners who might not know what serfdom is. I know what serfdom is, as does everyone who is smart and things. But just to the uneducated listener, why don't you just refresh their memories?
You know exactly what serfdom is.
Totally. Yeah.
So
but I thought I'd let you do the honors of describing it.
Yeah. So you are bound to a plot of land by your family. So essentially, if you're born into a family, you're like, hey, this acre of land is why you were born, and what your family's supposed to do is plant potatoes and work there. And it's just kind of like, it was like in a medieval form of kind of like slavery. It's not exactly the same thing, but you didn't have a lot of freedom, and it was forced labor, and you weren't allowed to leave, and you were run by a lord. The lord was in charge of everything.
That is a fascinating piece of information that I already knew.
Yeah, you did know that. So anyway, so that only kind of ended in the Austrian-Hungarian part in 1848, and then the Russian part that ended in 1861. But it was still Ukrainians. The average Ukrainian suffered a lot of oppression in so many different ways. So Ivan and Wazel were desperate for a new life. And in 1891, they decided to go to Canada, this new place that they'd heard a lot about.
Who are these guys again? The Pilippel and Wazzle?
No, Wazzle and Ivan.
Wazzle and Ivan? You're not going to say his last name anymore?
I'm just going to say Wazzle and Ivan just to stop embarrassing myself. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
I can't really blame
so
it.
they were from Western Ukraine.
Why were they moving to Canada?
Well, like I just said,
just to escape serfdom.
Well, serfdom had ended, but it was you still didn't instantly just get like. You
see how much I'm interested in history and how much I'm paying attention?
You are paying attention, even though you're kind of not, because I just said.
I know, right? That's my point.
So he wasn't a serf. He was Ivan was a peasant login contractor. And, he'd had some hard times, and because he had some German neighbors, and they'd said, hey, there's a load of free land in Canada. Obviously, there were indigenous people and First Nations communities already here, but at that time, they were like, hey, look at all this wide open space. Nobody is here. So he set off with his friends in the fall of 1891, and one of his two friends...
Which one was this, Ivan or Wazzle?
This was a third one called, this was Tit Ziniak.
Tit?
So Tyt is his first name, and then Ziniak is his last name, Ziniak.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. These guys have like fucking cool names, man.
I know I'm not like massively familiar with Ukrainian names, but they're cool. It's very, like, if you want a distinctive name, have a Ukrainian name is awesome.
Tit, Wazzle, and Platpulpul.
His name was Ivan.
Ivan, right. Sorry.
Ivan, Wazzle, and Tit.
Ivan in his band name could be Ivan and the Tight Wazzles.
Maybe. I'm going to get so much hate mail from you. For you, not from you. I get lots of hate mail from you anyway. But yeah.
Every morning, wake up, crack my knuckles, time to send Reese a fucking piece of horrible hate mail.
Texts me images of...
Specifically racist to Welsh people.
Yeah, he texts me images of decomposing animals he finds, and just it's horrible.
Because I know how much you love them.
Yeah. Anyway, so Tit was turned back at the German-Austrian border. He wasn't allowed to pass through, but Ivan and Wazzle managed to get travel to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and then on to Winnipeg, Manitoba. And they met up with some German loggers, and they just went on like a little tour. They went up to the Northwest Territories. They went to Calgary, and they were like they were kind of just blown away by like the wide open space. There was like the oppression. You were kind of so much freer there, because obviously you have this like very like structured society with certain kind of, depending on what you were born into, that was your place, and you couldn't really rise above that. Canada was very different. There were lots of people from around the world settling, huge tracts of land. So
what year was this again? Sorry.
This was 1891.
1891. Okay.
Yeah. So they were like, yeah, this is a viable option. So Wazzle couldn't afford to go back and stayed there to work for the winter.
Couldn't go back to the Ukraine, you're right.
Couldn't go back to he didn't have money. So he was like, hey, I'll just stay here and work. Because
where did he settle? He toured all of Canada. Where did
they ended up in Manitoba.
Okay. So, right. I mean, we love Manitoba. Manitobians, we love you. But
Manitoba Nights.
Manitoba Nights.
Yeah.
If you're coming to Canada for the first time, first off, you stop over in Nova Scotia, Halifax, the party fucking drunk central of Canada. Then off you have to go through Ontario, right? With all the crazy fucking parties going on in Ontario. You get a tour up to Northwest Territories. Nope, too cold for me. Fuck you. You go back down. Manitoba. Dry. Barren. Stretches on forever. Perfect. That's where you decide to stay? Really? All right.
Yeah, but I imagine though, like that, the prairies resembled in terms of weather and geography, that part of Europe, like that whole kind of area. So I imagine it was kind of like felt like home.
I'm going to Google this. Is Manitoba
like
Ukraine?
But there's a lot of
top Google answer. No, I don't know. There's nothing here. There's nothing comparing Manitoba to.
Well, okay. Well, let's compare it. So Ukraine is a breadbasket, is where a lot of wheat is grown, and so is the prairies. There's a lot of similarities in terms of the kind of things you can grow there and how the land is.
All right.
How come I know your country better than you?
I think we've been over this.
Yeah. But then something crazy happened.
Because you do 5 minutes of research before we start recording. That's why. Don't talk yourself up like you're some kind of fucking historian. Okay, we all know better. Seriously.
I know. Everyone's got Wikipedia. So Ivan headed back to get their families to come back and go, hey, everyone, just so you know, I've been over and I'm just coming back now. Wazzle's still over there. He's working, but it's brilliant. You all need to come out. So he got back to his family in Galicia, I think, or Galicia, which is the part of Ukraine where he was from, in Western Ukraine, in 1892 for his family. And he was telling everyone about this vast kind of land where it was unsettled in the sense of farmsteads, and people were either excited or very skeptical. They thought, some people were like, "Oh my god, this doesn't sound real. Like, this is like freedom," and other people were like, "I don't believe you." I
like how you changed the tone of voice for the naysayers.
Yeah, skeptics sound like that to me. Stop having dreams. Stop having dreams, Reese. Stop having dreams. Anyway, this isn't about me.
In your head?
This isn't about me.
He says, while slowly crying to himself in a dark corner of his room.
So, and like, you got to understand like how people were living at the time. So there was a lot of small, like, self-sufficient villages. Over 90% of people were illiterate.
Is this in the Ukraine or Manitoba?
In the Ukraine. Ukraine then, Manitoba now. Oh, I'm joking.
Right,
I'm joking. You're all right, Manitoba. I'm joking. So the cities and towns of kind of like the cities and towns were largely dominated by foreign people who were like foreigners.
If you're not careful, Reese, we're gonna like seriously offend our 8 Manitoba listeners. Honestly.
I know. I'm only joking. It's fine.
Who are they? There's John. There's Sarah.
Manitoba Sally.
Don't ask us how she got that name. You don't want to know.
But so essentially, like, you can understand why people wouldn't believe him, because like they hadn't, they couldn't, a lot of them didn't read. Their world was quite small because they'd never been allowed to go far or had the opportunity to go far.
Right. You what is it? You conform to the environment you're presented with. Basically.
Exactly. So, yeah. And also there was like this defined class structure where Russians ran the government mainly, and then industrialized areas where a lot of Russian workers settled in factories and mines. So a lot of the people, the Ukrainians, were still working the land. The landowners were typically Polish. And then a lot of the tradesmen and craftsmen and the skilled people were Germans who had migrated there. So the Ukrainians were like a kind of an exploited class at the bottom of the social ladder as well. So the idea of like, you can go to Canada and you'll be treated like a normal, equal person. You can understand why people thought that was too good to be true.
Yes.
So what happened was there was a rumor as well. Then somebody started that that Ivan was telling people all of this stuff because they thought he was getting a commission from a steamship company, and everyone was accusing him of being a con man. Then going, no, you just want us to pay money to go on a ship, and there's going to be nothing there, and it's
oh my god! Hold on, wait. This is the 1800s version of fake news.
It is, yeah. They're like, fake news. There's no Canada. It's not real. It's just America, and then you fall into ice.
Right.
And that's it. So.
Oh, that's amazing, though. They literally, they had people arguing over what was real or not.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so what happened then? He was arrested.
Oh my God. Okay.
And he was charged with sedition and inciting people to emigrate.
What is sedition?
What is sedition? Oh God, they talk about that with the July the 6th stuff. Sedition is.
Are you looking it up? You used it and you didn't know what it meant.
Well, I thought it was kind of, here we are. I was going to find the exact term. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch.
Oh, fuck. So he came back home and he's like, hey, everyone, you know how home kind of like sucks fucking ass? How about you leave with me? And the people in charge are like, fuck you for telling them that their home fucking sucks ass. We're going to throw you in jail to show everyone how awesome it is to live here.
But so, and inciting people to emigrate. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
exactly. Stop promising people a dream. Stop having dreams, Reese. It's not about me. Not about me. So anyway,
This is what your wife wakes up to every morning at 3 a.m.
just screaming, sat up in bed.
It's not about me, Reese. It's not about me.
So he spent 4 months in jail, and while he was in jail, a group of families, who were the ones who believed him, the ones who weren't skeptics, the ones who believed in Ivan's dream, they settled in northeast of Edmonton. They headed over. So he'd already started. Despite this, he did start something. And what happened was then that flow of people grew and grew and grew through word of mouth. And then as Canada was expanding to the west to kind of and building railroads and committing many genocides and starving the indigenous people in the name of claiming the West Coast to stop America getting it. They then essentially wanted to find as many
a little backwards, but yeah.
They were trying to find and this was the Canadian government's plan, was to find as many Europeans to settle those lands as possible. So they had like this huge immigration program aimed at settling people in the Western prairies. And the immigration minister at the time, Sir Clifford Sifton, who was Minister of the Interior.
Again, like a fucking cool name.
But also, because the winters are harsh and everything.
I just wanted to comment on what you mentioned about the government wanting to get as many immigrants in as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I had a friend say that one of the reasons that Canada has such an open arms policy to immigration is like nobody's going to fucking wage war against Canada. That's where everybody's relatives are living. Like everybody's relatives are here.
Yeah, it was exactly. and also is like you can't, if you're going to have a country that was built on really diverse immigration from all around the world, who's going to be the person to stand up and go, no more? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because so this is what they offered people in Eastern Europe at the time, was 160 acres or 64 hectares of free land.
Is that a lot? I don't know.
160 acres. Well,
I have
yes,
no idea how
that is a
big
lot.
is.
It is a lot. Yeah,
no
that's a huge amount of land, especially if
I've never had to. Oh, here it is. How big is 160 acres? Literally in Google. All right.
How many football fields? Maybe
121. Holy shit.
Football
with
field.
end zones. Yeah,
There we go.
121
With end zones. Exactly.
That's what it says right there.
This was the letter the minister published. 160 acres with end zones.
Or 1,482.89362 NBA basketball courts.
There we go.
It's very
Perfect.
specific.
That's a lot. They were playing a lot of basketball back then.
Yeah.
And this was for a nominal registration fee of $10. And
which, I mean, that's probably was a lot of fucking money back then. $10, 19,
and it would be 150,
1891
for like boat and train passage.
I just want to see how much $10 was in 1891 today. It's actually, it was like $300. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So
for $300, we could get 161 football fields with end zones.
Bearing in mind, their parents, the generation before, lived almost like slaves, and then they were told, "Hey, you can just have your own land now." So what happened was whole villages moved to Canada from the Ukraine.
Wow. Okay.
And the government was making it as easy as possible for them, because there's a very I'd say is kind of.
Was it just Manitoba offering this, or all of Canada?
No, the whole of Canada. So
wow.
Sir Clifford Sifton, the Minister of the Interior, he said this is how he described Ukrainian.
He was the Minister of where again?
The Minister of the Interior
of
Canada.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Of his trousers. And he had a very outdated, stereotypical, racist view of Eastern Europeans.
Hold on. Just tell me his full title again, please.
Sir Clifford Sifton, the Minister for the Interior.
Of?
His trousers.
There we go.
Do you want to hear how we described Eastern European people?
Sure.
I think that a stalwart peasant in a sheepskin coat, born to the soil, whose forefathers have been farmers for 10 generations with a stout wife and half a dozen children is good quality.
Back in the day when racism was pretty rampant, I gotta give it to him. Like, it sounds like he's trying, and that's not really racist either. It's just insulting. It's not racist, right?
No,
like,
it's jingoistic, maybe.
What?
Maybe like jingoistic, or is it stereotypical of like how people would have viewed him? Yeah,
the stout wife thing. I think back then that was a huge compliment. Like, oh, your wife is very stout. Why, thank you, sir. And you have wonderful ankles. I don't know what the fuck they complimented each other back then. Your calves are very shiny today. Oh, thank you. And your wife is very stout.
I just imagine if they had
they just grab each other's ass and
did they have porn mags called Stout? Stout.
Nearly spit coffee all over my computer. Thank you for that.
But anyway, and the
Stout
good
Weekly, yeah,
exactly. And the good news is that Ivan eventually made it out in 1893.
Oh yeah,
and he settled in the district of Alberta, east of Fort Saskatchewan. He farmed, and he died a wealthy man in 1936 at the age of 77.
Fucking A. Right on, Ivan.
And by 1914, approximately 200,000 Ukrainians would settle Canada.
Holy shit! And this is thanks to him.
Yeah, and then things took. I'm going to end the episode to this point. We can cover what happened afterwards. But when World War II broke out, World War I broke out, the friendliness of the Canadian government changed, and that's a story for another time.
That's not surprising. Yeah,
or you can go and research yourself. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. So there you go. So
that's how we end our podcast forever. Is just okay. Research done. Go look at it yourself.
I did my bit. Now you do the rest.
Yeah.
so yeah.
Fucking lazy pieces of.
Did you like that story?
I did like that story. It had a happy. I like any story that has a happy ending. Reese, I'm a sucker for a happy ending. I really am. Yeah. So just to know that he got out of jail and he convinced 200,000. Well, like he started a movement that had 200,000 Ukrainians move to Canada, and he died a wealthy man in his late 70s.
Yeah.
Like on his own farmland. Fucking A. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So this has been fun, and everyone stay safe and just be nice.
Is that your call to action? Stay safe and be nice? I mean, that's polite. It's not really. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Fuck it. Well,
isn't that okay? You can be lots of things in this world. Just start by being nice.
That's nice. Here's my call to action. Okay.
That'd be a good fridge magnet.
I like that.
Maybe I read it on a fridge magnet and then just absorbed it as my own.
So two call to actions. One, go to speakpipe.com/Canadian politics is boring, or just hit the little tab down, the little link in the show notes, to tell Reese how to properly pronounce all of the Ukrainian names that he mispronounced today. Secondly, is when Reese and I started doing are going to be doing more live shows in the future on the interwebs. We're going to be doing it from Twitch. Twitch.tv is a platform where there's a lot of live shows happening. It's just really good for live entertainment. And I've been dutifully setting up our channel. So if you want to go over to twitch.tv/Canadian Politics is Boring and just hit the little subscribe button or follow button, then you'll be alerted as to that's where we'll go. If we're like, hey, we're going live, then you'll be like, I know where that is because I did the doobly thing. That's it. So if Reese remembers, he can also put that in the show notes. So thanks.
Yeah, cool.
There you go. Cool beans.
Well, bye, everyone.
That's it? You're not going to say anything clever?
No.